Fortnite hasn't had a live event in almost an entire year, but with the last event being Fracture, which was so poorly received, is it even worth trying to bring back Fortnite events? Well, yes, it definitely is. Despite the complete and utter failure that Fracture was, I think live events are a core part of the game that have to come back in order for it to survive. They keep the hype going because it used to be that once every 6 months we would have a massive event that got everyone excited. People who didn't even play the game hopped on to see this cool cinematic experience, and those who were interested in story got some interesting details about the plot as well. It's just an amazing thing that Fortnite has done that brings all of the community together that they really can't go without. Also to note another thing, no other game has done anything like this. No other game tells their story in this way, which is why OG Fortnite should definitely bring back live events, but there are still some concerns, and not everyone is super keen about the next upcoming one. But why is that? Well, all of this ties back to a few recent controversies centered around a part of Fortnite newly added to the game called UEFN. UEFN is essentially Creative Mode 2.0, which gives players more freedom as to what they can create for other Fortnite players to experience. The Fracture live event aimed to sort of show off this new extension to the game as it wasn't released yet. It was meant to go, hey look, here's this cool Creative 2.0 stuff, and it gave us an event that was pretty different. But instead of impressing people, this just really upset people and made people think, oh wow, this event is essentially just a creative mode. I don't know why I said wow, actually, it was quite boring. But there is also confirmation that the next upcoming Fortnite live event was also made with UEFN, so that's gotten quite a few people worried, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. I completely understand that people do not want to re-experience an event like the Fracture event. I get that, we want something better. But just because it's made in UEFN doesn't mean it's a quest-based mode like Fracture was. It definitely still could be, but I'm really hoping it isn't. I'm hoping Epic play into the more advanced parts of UEFN, and they show us the true capabilities of Fortnite's new engine and what people can actually create for themselves in-game. I for one think this could be a good change for the game if Epic just sort things out and stop making changes that people don't like, but it's all very interesting to me, and I'm very excited to see the direction of the game which is taken with UEFN and the new modes in Chapter 5, all of which I will be covering here on the channel, so subscribe to not miss anything. Rumor has it that if you don't, the Chapter 4 end event will be complete dog shit. Another concern that people have is in relation to the new changes which Epic have made in regards to cosmetics. In the newest Fortnite update, they added new age ratings to all Fortnite experiences, including Battle Royale and creative game modes. With these ratings, some Fortnite skins are not allowed to be used in some creative game modes which are rated E for everyone, and through leaks, we know that the live event will also be rated E for everyone, meaning we won't be able to wear quite a few skins in it. This includes people like the Visitor and Midas, who are actually storyline characters that a lot of people want to wear to events like this. But don't worry, because Epic have directly addressed this and are making a change hopefully before the end event, which they call a pretty big in-game event, so that gets me excited at least. They've officially recognized this issue, they've responded to the community, and they've officially announced the event as well. Pretty much nothing better could have came out of this, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out, but surprise surprise, there's still even more concerns. A lot of people are unsure of what this change Epic are making will actually mean, and I think I might have a few different ideas. The first of which being the fact that they could just blur out the grenades and guns on skins for people who are younger than that chosen age range. For example, if you go into an E for everyone experience and there's a skin that has a gun on it, it doesn't stop the user from wearing the skin, but it just changes it slightly, maybe removing or blurring the grenades and the weapons on the sides of the skin. Another possibility that they could do is just changing the whole game mode to be teen rated instead of E for everyone rated. This is not something that I think will happen because Epic want the game mode to appeal to everyone. They want everyone to be watching their huge event. So yeah, chances are it will actually stay E for everyone, but they will make an alternate playlist as well that is rated T for teen. Those who want to wear quote unquote inappropriate skins will have to go into the teen playlist, and everyone else will go into E for everyone. I think that makes the most sense with the direction of the game, and I also think it makes sense with what Epic said, because they said they'll add a few extra options, which seems to me like they're adding a few different age-rated playlists for the actual event. But then that brings up another concern in my head. I hadn't even really thought about this actually. If the event is rated E for everyone, does that mean it can't include any guns? Some of the coolest cinematics in Fortnite have been when the Foundation was shooting his Rift gun, Sloan and The Rock had their face-off where she shot the door with her 2 pistol bullets, and I guess we also won't be able to see anything like Kevin because he's apparently simply too scary. I'm serious, that's one of the reasons skins are now becoming age restricted. Characters like the Batman who laughs are seen as too scary for the game, even though Epic put them in, and they are now not usable in things like the event. But as I said, Epic are fixing this, so it should be all good. Just keep your hopes up, guys. Now that we've got all the news and the negatives out of the way and the concerns about the event, it's time we talk about what will happen in the event itself, which means yes, I'm going to be talking about the storyline. I know my past 5 or 6 videos haven't really been about it because they've been performing pretty well, but who cares about the views when we've got an awesome live event for the first time in a year in like 2 weeks? A really interesting thing is happening on the island right now. It seems like Jones's arrival has sort of messed things up without him meaning to do anything. Also, the 0 point that's on the island right now is the Chapter 4 version, not the Chapter 1 version, which means that regardless of the past, the present, or the future, the 0 point stays in the same state because it is timeless. It is the center of all creation. Whether time is moved back or time is moved forward, the 0 point stays the same. So, now that we've got the super vulnerable Chapter 4 0 point on the Chapter 1 map, the cube's plans have changed. Instead of leaving all his runes around the island and coming back to them to collect energy and eventually explode, the cube has gone straight to the 0 point this time, and it's creating for some pretty interesting changes in the storyline. Its explosion was a big part of why the Ice Moon came to the island, so without it, that means the cosmic storm that the Ice King spoke about is a lot less strong, and a smaller chunk of the Ice Moon has been brought in without the full of Polar Peak, without the Fire King, and without the Devourer, which also means no volcano and no mecha versus monster event. And this might sound weird, but I find it really exciting. If the cube has a 0 point all to itself in its vulnerable Chapter 4 state, without the Ice King and the Fire King and the Devourer on the map to contest for it, then I think this could genuinely be the season where the last reality win. I'm also interested in how the end of Chapter 1 event will play out, because on Jones's side we know he's trying to get the Scientist rocket set up for him. That way Scientist doesn't have to do all his Rift Zone stuff and figure out everything before. He can just show up to the island, the rocket will be right there, the Rift Beacons will be set up, and the event will basically be ready to go. But this time things are far from the same, and I think it will be really interesting to see how all of this plays out. Will it end in a black hole v2, and will kids smash their TVs again as we sit for 48 hours without Fortnite? I get scared just even talking about it. Or will the 0 point explode itself across all reality, leaving 0 shards everywhere for everybody to access? I think that could be a cool story. Or will it take us into a remix of Fortnite Chapter 2, where the island reorganizes itself once again, but it's a little bit different because of how the timeline has been changed. Now, just to clarify, this does not mean we are in an alternate timeline. Our reality only has one timeline because there is only one 0 point. Say for example, someone went back into Chapter 1 and destroyed the 0 point. That would also destroy the 0 point in Chapter 4 because the past cannot exist without the present cannot exist without the future, and so on. If the 0 point is destroyed at any time and place throughout the timeline, we're screwed pretty much. So this should be insanely interesting, and I'll see you all in-game for Fortnite's Big Bang.